entrepreneurship couch across the globe. Welcome to today's program. On today's program, we've got FESO Africa's MD, Kuda Mupawose. She's here to share with us in terms of how people can handle partnerships and collaborations. She's also going to talk to us in terms of the betrayals that may come along and how she dealt with her own situation of betrayals. Kuda, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Shepherd. Greetings to everyone watching.
Kuda, before we can talk about partnerships and collaborations, would you briefly share with us what has been happening within FESO Africa as a company?
Well, like previously I mentioned, we have had to think outside the box because with COVID-19, it's not business as usual. There's a new way of doing business and we are learning every day. And we have our sales have kind of like increased the online sales. And I think we're seeing something. It's not where we were, but definitely we're not going to die of hunger. So we want to thank our clients out there for ordering products online and also some partners that we are working together, making sure that our clients do get their products on time. And also just to say, you know, it's so unfortunate that we're going towards winter because it's the worst time of year. So you find that a lot of people that had made progress in terms of hair loss, their hair is very vulnerable right now because of the climate, especially for those that are getting into winter, like I'm talking about in Africa, Southern Africa. And so it's very important now to get into treatments and to make sure that you do home treatments. And we are very excited that even at FESO Africa, we do have treatments that people can actually do at home and thereby minimizing the loss of their hair and continuing with the progress that they had on the hair loss and progress that they were having with the regrowth of their hair. So I'm very excited about that. It's we're new on the e-commerce. It's exciting, but it needs a lot of thinking. There's a lot of challenges in terms of learning. Remember, I was mentioning to you the other time that, you know, as entrepreneurs, we need to learn to adapt, because if you don't adapt, you get extinct. You can imagine those that believe that their businesses cannot go online. But I saw a clip that said, if your business is not on internet, then it's dead. So, but it doesn't have to die. There's so many ways. And we're living at very interesting times. There's a lot you can do online. And even if you don't know, you can learn. There are those that are offering these, courses for free. So I'm challenging all entrepreneurs out there. You need to adapt to the time. And that's part of being an entrepreneur. Otherwise, if you don't, you're going to be extinct very soon.
To our viewers across the globe, I need to quickly put a disclaimer that myself and Kuda are not legal experts. We are not going to discuss partnerships and collaborations along legal lines. We are just going to take this opportunity to share with you, our viewers, in terms of the practical and the real partnership and collaborations that Kuda as an MD and an entrepreneur has gone through. So that disclaimer has got to be very clear. Kuda, what are partnerships? What necessitates partnerships and collaborations?
Partnerships means working together with somebody trying to achieve the same desired goal. So for me, that's what partnership is all about. You both need the same goal. It doesn't matter that your goal might be different, or maybe your goal is to solve a problem, but somebody's goal is making money. While you're solving somebody else's problem, what is your end result? Your end result is the bottom line. So you must have a similar kind of end goal. for you to be in partnership with anyone.
Just for the benefit of our viewers onto the who are on this platform, would you quickly maybe help us identify some of the partners that you have worked with during the course of your business?
Well, for me, the way I used to look at partnership when I started business is totally different now from the way that I look at partnership. Because when I talk about partnership, I'm referring to the people that I work with, because those are partners. It's not that they've come to work on me, but we are partnering. They bring in their service, I bring in mine, and we are there to serve a client. And after the client has been satisfied, we then have money at the end of the day. So it's not, well, yes, I might be the MD, but I want to believe that FESO is a teamwork. We work together. Those are my partners. So people that I work with are trying to achieve the same goal, which is making money through FESO. That's my partner. My bankers are my partners, because without me being functional, they are not going to make money. So I see them as my partners. So my interaction with my bank should then be in such a way that we both know that we are partners. Because if my business is not doing well, that means there's no banking on their aspect. So there's no money, there's no income in their business. So your bankers are your business partners. Then there's also, those are my partners, and also my clients, because though it might be a different kind of partner, here is somebody whose issue is they don't have hair and they've lost confidence and things like that. But at the same time, I see them as my partner because we are working together to achieve a desired goal. And then there's also the other kind of investor partner. There's somebody who would come into my business, put in money, and at the end of the day, they get a return on their money. Those are also the partners that I have worked with. So in terms of my business, yes, I've got an investor partner, I've got a working partner, I've got agencies. Remember, I mentioned to you that I've got agencies that are all over the world that sells fish. So wherever they are, be it in Australia, there's Beulah out there. She's my business partner because she's making money through fish, so I'm making money through fish. So in terms of partnership, it's important that we all are speaking from the same position, because bottom line is it's going to affect all of us. So those are my partners when I talk about business. So I'm talking about the people that we ordinarily know as your clients, the people we ordinarily know as your employees, your bankers, your account. Because at the end of the day, any person who has something to do with my business is my partner. That's the way I see things now. Because it's a teamwork. I won't be able to do it alone. So we have to now think outside the box. But if I see them as playing an important part in my business, then the way I relate to them and the way they relate to me is totally different.
What are the advantages of partnerships and collaborations?
For me, when I talk about partnership and what is the benefit of it is, I want you to think about it as team. The way I define team is spelled with TEAM. Together, each achieves more. So for me, when you work with more people, you end up doing more things than what you ordinarily would have done alone. So I think partnerships are important in the sense that they leverage on our weaknesses.
And
I was saying we then also piggyback on the strengths of the people that we're in partnership with.
What then is the negative side of partnerships? What are the disadvantages that tend to come with partnerships?
Well, in terms of partnerships, the disadvantages usually arises because people would not have taken time to understand. You know, my pastor always says that if it's not written down, it doesn't exist. So I think it's important that the negativity of partnership comes in when initially at the very beginning, this collaboration or the partnership is not spelled out properly, so that there is proper communication, there is proper objectives listed down. And unfortunately, this is something that we as entrepreneurs, it's our weakness. We speak something and we do something else, or we assume that somebody has understood. Because I believe that in partnerships, it's not just about what you are saying, but it's what the other person has heard what you are saying. So it's in a partnership, I would say seek more to understand than to be understood. And then communicate your vision. So if you do that, you find that the disadvantages that we always think that there are disadvantages in partnerships kind of like get minimized.
My next question, you seem to have partly answered it, but I need to understand what is critical for partnerships and collaborations to succeed.
One needs to have clear objectives. What is it? Why are you partnering with somebody? Don't just partner for the sake of partnering. And that's number one. Number two, have I articulated that which you need? Why are you partnering with me? What will you get? What is, it must be written down. It must be agreed on. You must take time to understand what exactly, because I might assume that you just want money. Okay, take for example, in most cases, you partner, it usually happens with a lot of our people, Black people, that today I come to you and say, okay, you know what, bring me 10,000, I'll partner with you. We need to be very clear. Are you going to be a silent partner or you're going to be a visible partner? Because then once the business is going, like everybody else, you know your money is making more money. You now want to be in association with that brand. But was this clearly defined from day one? So things like that. So I think what makes it really work is everything spelled out in the beginning. Do we all understand what it means? And there's nothing wrong to spend time in trying to make each one understand the partnership. And also for the person whose business is actually going to partner with the people, communication is very important. You must make sure that those that you're partnering with understand what it is that you want and why you want what you want and why are you doing and how are you going to go there. Because without them understanding your motive, it might be construed in a different way, and that would actually mess up your business.
I would have asked you to say, have you gone into any particular partnerships? But I understand in the beginning you have already highlighted and identified the partners that you have worked with and those that you continue working with in your business. And now I would want to know from you, have you had an experience where you have been betrayed in these partnerships?
Oh, yeah. Betrayal. It's, the funny thing about betrayal, it changes its meaning. And for me, it has kind of changed the meaning. But the more I understand myself better and the more I'm very clear with what I want in life, the meaning of betrayal changes. So my first betrayal in my partners is, I'm talking about, then I didn't see them as my partners. I saw them as my employees. That time, the business of hairdressing, it was more on people that used to work for you and then you pay them. So my first betrayal came one day. I went to work and I had junior staff come in, one hairdresser come in, and the rest, I think I had 7 at that time. The 6 didn't turn up. I had booked clients, booked and everything. So I only had one hairdresser and the rest of them had left. So that was my first betrayal. These are my teammates that we were going to achieve something together on that particular day. But it was just, I think, a day after month end, I paid my staff. And once they got paid, they left. So you can imagine now how I felt. You've got a salon full of clients and no workers. They had moved to another salon. That was my first betrayal. I think it was in the very first year or second year of my business. So thank God, which is also a very key. Remember when I said try and make a business out of your hobby. Why? It's not just that you're doing it for money, but you're actually enjoying what you're doing. So for me, I was able to make a turnaround immediately. My clients didn't realize. I made an excuse at that time, and it worked out. Why? Because I was doing something that I enjoyed, and I knew what I was doing. So it's also very important that when you have partners, do you have at least a little bit of knowledge of what they're doing? Because if you don't, yeah, you're screwed. Like that time, I would have been screwed if I didn't know what I was doing. And then not only did that happen once, and then I also had the other set of partners that I'm talking about is like clients. You know, during that time, like I said, there were no rent-a-chair business. But then, you know, my line of business, you've got clients that you speak to, you've got a good relationship in the sense that it's now transcend beyond just a hairdresser and, you know, and client, you know. And in my case, it was, these people are people that I had taken a liking into, and people that we could, you know, like they say in the Bible, iron sharpens iron. These are people that I would actually respect, you know, and have an intellectual conversation with them. And then I'll probably even bounce back my strategy of my business with them, and they'll give me a good advice here. And the next thing is the same person you were talking to goes and opens a salon identical, but with a twig. What do I mean? Because these guys, for me, it happened in the sense that they had more money than me. They had financial backing from their husbands, which I didn't have. So they would then, I would tell them my idea. I would say, oh no, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do this. But because every day I was building towards my goal, and I was unfortunate that I told them my goal or where I wanted to go, they went on and duplicated my idea long before I could afford to do it. And not only that, they would then came and fished in my salon. So they took my best hairdressers and off they went with them. So that's another partnership that got me screwed up, you know. I mean, now here's a client who knew probably half of my clients, and then goes, knows the dream that I want, the kind of dream salon that I wanted or what I was hoping for. And they go and do my dream and come and get my best hairdressers, offer them more money, and you're left with nothing. That's another partnership which went southwards. So, but the beauty that happened for me is that, you know, when you hear somebody else's dream, and you take it and you go and try and work out that person's dream, you never actually take as much, because, you know, when you are talking, I will tell you what I am feeling now and what I'm visualizing now. But your dream continues to grow. Your dream continues to change directions. Remember, we're talking adaptation, like you need to adapt to change with the system. So as an entrepreneur, and because it's your dream, God always gives you this opportunity to then go an extra mile. So while they took my hairdressers were good. Like, remember I mentioned to you that study to be approved. Well, yes, I might have studied hairdressing, but one thing that I do and I continue to do is I keep on studying. So I would travel all the way to the States because everyone's, their idea of good hair and things like that emanates from America. And also at the same time, America is way advanced in black hair industry than us. So you find that new trends, I would go to America, learn a technique. I would come back to Zim or South Africa, train my staff, and then when they are good enough, I start giving them clients. And before you know it, boom, a client goes. I've seen something in the States. I come and I tell this client, oh my God, I saw this. I would want to do this to my business, but I didn't have the money to do it then. I was going to build up. But this client had money. So they wait, they see I've trained my staff. They take my idea, open a better place than mine. But that has been part of my life. I think it happened not just once. And they now came with now hairdressers being their own bosses and things like that. Somebody would come, train themselves, and once they think they know better, they get clients. So some of the clients, the other thing was loyalty, I used to think that not just, okay, if my staff is not that loyal, maybe my clients, the ones that I get close to are mine, But you find that the same client that I'm loyal to would actually go or actually give the idea to my hairdresser to go somewhere. Oh, no. Why? Because they want it a little bit cheaper. So instead of talking to me directly to say, you know what, this is more expensive, they would go behind my back and have another business arrangement with my staff. So these are part of disappointments that I've had with partnership, the kind of partnerships that I've had.
I want to digress a bit and talk about running a business and the aspect of sharing a vision. Would I be correct to make an assumption that you are saying when one is running his or her own business, they do not necessarily need to share each and everything when it comes to their vision?
When all these things were happening to me, I was inclined to agree with you. But now, because I know better, to be honest, sharing your vision makes it better, makes it perfect. Because I would share my vision with you. And in my sharing my vision, obviously I wouldn't share it with just anybody. But if I trust you enough to share my vision with you, sharing makes things better and perfect. But remember, when I have shared with you, you're bound to say something. Whatever you're going to say, I'm going to go back, rethink my vision based on the comments you have given me, and somehow my vision gets tweaked. So this is one of the reasons why I say it to you. My thinking of these guys were pulling me down or whatever is totally different now. And am I afraid to share my vision? I share my vision with those that I believe I can trust. And in the event that I get betrayed, I am mature enough to understand that these things do happen, and what do I do to move forward without actually breaking down the way that I used to break down before.
Now I need to ask you, we all understand that when people go through challenging times, they are affected psychologically or emotionally. How did you deal with betrayal emotionally yourself?
To be honest, I would talk too much, and that in so many ways came back to bite me. I would just say it to anyone out, but I think also in talking helped me in the sense that I don't harbor any ill feelings against anyone. And also, I think because of the disadvantages or the challenges that I went when I was betrayed, mentally I grew. Mentally, I asked myself questions that ordinarily, had I not been betrayed, I would not have said, Because like now, when people come to me and ask me, how do I see competition? I don't believe I have any competition out there. And I'm saying it as it is. I don't have any competition. No one except myself. My competition is myself. I compete with Kuda and nobody else. What do I mean by that? You find that there are people, let's talk about Feso, There's so many people who know the Feso story. What do I mean? I don't mean Kuda's Feso story, but I'm saying traditionally, there's your grandmother, if you had an opportunity to speak to her, she will probably tell you about Feso. Somebody else out there, there's so many people that can tell you their Feso story. And I've realized that a good idea, no matter what you do, it's going to be challenged. But when somebody does try and betray, it's not your personal betrayal. I look at it from, it's a position of strength. Because when somebody challenges something, it means that they are testing you to see whether you can pass or fail. So emotionally, yes, I used to be, shame. I used to suffer from it. But now, because of what happened in the past, they made me. I see competition differently. I'm now, all the hairdressers that have come through me, I would want to believe 99.9%, if you were to go and ask them, I have contributed immensely in what they are doing today. And I'm very proud of them, Whether they left my business in a ceremonially good way or they left in a good way, but I would want to believe that they are doing well and I have contributed something in their space. And I'm very happy to, for something like that. So emotionally, yes, everything that I've gone through has made me look at what it is that I am doing. And that when I look back now, it doesn't appear like it was such a bad thing. It's just that I wasn't emotionally intelligent enough to be able to articulate what was happening, which I can now. Because I've had people that come in to work for me, not because they are interested in working for me. They were curious to know what do I do with Feso? How can we steal the idea? Which I think is the biggest challenge with Africa. We're still believing in stealing other people's ideas. But until as entrepreneurs, we learn to build on top of what another person has done, we keep on, the cycle of starting and going down, starting and going down. So for me now, partnerships, they're welcome, but we need to articulate what is it that you want from me. You can't come to me and to steal an idea. Instead, don't waste your time. Come, let's talk. If you have something to improve on Feso, why not? By all means, money shared, it's better than for me to just have 10%, 100% of 1 million than 10% of 10 million, because then I know I've got 10 million, or 100% and I've got a million. So for me, emotionally, it has built me. I guess also it's because I chose to see it in a positive way. But if you choose to see it in a negative way, it can be very devastating.
Now, you have talked about how you had to deal with this emotionally as an entrepreneur. As a business, how did your business deal with this? But may you also take the opportunity to share with us in terms of what is it that entrepreneurs as well as businesses need to do to protect themselves against this issue to do with betrayal?
Remember, I said once, when it's written down, then it means something. When it's not written down, it doesn't exist. So, as an entrepreneur, the first thing that you need to do is to protect your idea. And one of the things that I also learned was to ensure my idea. So you need to protect. You need to get your IP registered. It protects you from people who come in, because that is going to happen. You can't stop it. It's a culture that is in Africa, more so in Zimbabwe. Get to understand how the other person is doing, and 10 of us are doing the same thing. And all they think about is undercutting each other. And customers are not loyal. Money has no soul. Where it's being taken care of, it will go there. So in terms of business, you need to protect your ideas, get your business registered, get your ideas registered, so that when somebody comes in and who knows better or who can do it better, if they steal your idea, you've got something to fall back on. In terms of when your customers have gone somewhere or they've been stolen and things like that, if you've insured your business, there are different packages out there that you can actually insure your business for the times of loss. When you are not making money, you can actually insure your business. So, like I was saying, as an entrepreneur, there's so much you can do. There's so much you can learn and protect yourself for when you can. Do you know that, okay, like take for example, right now, I can actually insure my hands. I use my right hand. But this is something that I've learned. So as an entrepreneur, you need to learn, find out what can protect your business. Because today, my work is hands. And if my hand cannot work, maybe for the next 6 months, I'm sick or whatever, I can get money. So that's thinking ahead. So as entrepreneurs, we need to open up our minds. We need to learn, find information. Take for example, even for FESO, there's so many people that have tried to come up with FESO. I've had to go, thank God I knew about that well before actually FESO became big. I went and I patented my formulation. So whoever is going to come and try probably improve on FESO, they have me to contend with. So I know for the next generation. But also at the same time, when you are in business, how can you promote it, not just for yourself? As Africa, we need to start thinking about protecting our businesses, our little enterprises for the next generation. Because if my business is protected, it means that my child can actually come and start working on that building block that I did. There is a foundation already. So if it's written down and it's documented, my child can come and step on my foundation and then build from it. But small businesses, we do not take time to do that. And as a result, you find there's a general dealer somewhere. Once the father dies, the kids have to start all over again. So that's the advantages. And those are the things that you can do as an entrepreneur to protect your business not just from people that want to take your idea, but also to protect your business for the next generation.
Kuda, we are very grateful. We keep on learning from you. We are also very grateful to FESO Africa. They continue to make yourself available to our viewers across the globe. We keep on learning. Last week, we were learning about the pitfalls that are normally associated with running of businesses. Today, we have managed to share with us some of the challenges that people come across when they are involved in partnerships and collaborations. We are very grateful for that. To our viewers across the globe, we are very grateful to Kuda, who is the MD for FESO Africa. We need to reiterate that we have not been sharing this platform as legal experts, but we have been sharing this from our own experiences as well as the MD of FESO Africa's experience. Please continue watching. Kuda is going to be back again next week with us. Next week, she'll be sharing a different experience, a different exposure, which a lot of our viewers can learn from. So may you continue subscribing to our channel and watch out for our future shows. Kuda, thank you again for the time.
Thank you.